Most people think gesso is just a boring white base coat, but it can actually be one of the most expressive materials in your sketchbook. Hello, bonjour, I'm Cecile. I help you having fun and feel confident mixing different mediums in your sketchbook without worrying about the rules. And today we are diving into gesso, a simple material that can completely change your creative flow. I want to use clear gesso to seal this page before adding new things on top of it. I want to pour it and use a wedge. So it comes milky at first, and when drying it will be transparent. And it will also give a grip to my paper. When it's dry, it has a tooth. And you hear that. I use clear gesso to glue tissue paper. I think it works very well. You can use gel medium too. Let's say I have this paper, I want to place it here. So I'm applying a layer under and I'm applying a layer on top. This way my paper is really sealed between two layers of gesso and I'm sure it won't move. And now my paper has exactly the same texture than the background. This is what I like when I want to add paint on top of it, or even crayons or whatever. I already added regular pencil just to scribble a bit. Clear gesso can also be protective layer on top of oil pastel. This is watercolor and this is oil pastel. If I rub my finger, I have blue, and you see it's transferring on the opposite page. I want to seal that, and for that I will use clear gesso. The only thing is you want to have a brush and make very smooth brush strokes. You don't want to disturb the paint under. Yes, I know, so far it's pretty scary. Make your brush strokes always in the same direction. Here is the sealed page and I can rub very hard and I have nothing on my hand. You see, it's really so cool. Should have done that before I had this transfer on the opposite page. But there you go, perfectly sealed. For a more painterly look, you can apply your gesso with a brush. This will give a texture to your background, just to seal the paper before you add something onto. And then you have a texture with a bit of brushwork already. This is subtle because the paper has already some tooth and texture to it, but I do see the brush strokes here. And it's ready for some medium on top. By the way, if you like this kind of mixed media tricks, I have a PDF that you can download below, 60 mixed media tips. I want to make a black and white page, so I have white gesso. And you can scribble into the texture either with a palette knife or with a silicone shaper. We'll make different marks. When your gesso is dry, if it has a bit too much texture, you can sand it until you get something nice and soft under your finger and put the dust away outside. You can also use clear gesso, pour a bit into some place you can mix in, and scrape some soft pastels. And this is acting like pigment powder, so the more you add, the more intense will be the color, obviously. And what is interesting is to add different pigments, different colors inside. I'm mixing a bit, but not too much. And I'm applying it so it's not fully tinted. I'm not aiming for paint, right? I'm aiming some pigments, kind of a dust color. And once it's dry, you have this nice texture with some grain, nice colors, very soft. I love that. You can use gesso with a stencil just for extra texture. And I'm taking a bit of gesso and taking my wedge to pull. It will not be perfect. Oh, that's fine. I don't want perfection. Once your gesso is dry, it's hardly visible because it's white on white. It acts like a resist. So if you apply, let's say, watercolor on top of it, you will still have the effect of the stars visible. The gesso is kind of repelling the watercolor. This is perfect for this starry night effect. This is what you get. I haven't swiped anything. It's just the gesso repelling the watercolor. And it's not perfect by any means, but this is not what I was looking for, so it's good. And here I have added a bit of gesso just to see what it's doing, and it's giving interesting textures as well. This is black gesso, and I'm using a wedge just because I want a thin layer and no visible brush strokes, but of course you can use a brush, a regular brush. It spreads the paint evenly. And this background is perfect to paint on top of it. Here I have used Collage. It works beautifully on gesso. I hope this gave you ideas for your own sketchbook pages. If you want more ideas to mix mediums and have fun in your sketchbook, you can download my guide 60 mixed media tips. The link is in the description below. Thanks for watching. Au revoir. And before you go, you can watch this video that YouTube thinks is good for you. See you soon.